I'm just trying to be like Justin Fields.
He stinks.
No, easy.
Wait, who's Justin Fields for the Bears?
Yeah.
He's okay. I don't know, man.
Oh, these guys are already getting into it. Welcome, everybody, to this episode of the Original Sports Podcast. I'm Mark Maradei, and I got my Barbershop crew here, -1. T-Sizz is having some medical issues today, so hopefully he comes through okay with what he's got going on. We actually were supposed to be at a barbershop. The dream had it all lined up, and it just didn't. We didn't want to do it without T-Sizz, so I'm sure before you know it, Watson will be able to roll his baby grand over to the barbershop, play some tunes, and we'll get the show going. Today, I mean, look, guys, today we're going to talk a whole lot of football. We're going to talk a little hockey. We'll drop a little baseball knowledge, or at least attempt to do so. I'm looking forward to what we're doing today. I'm actually very happy to be off of school today. My stuff is done. I turned my stuff in. They try to add somebody to my class yesterday, tell me I had to NG the kid. I'm like, no, that's not happening, guys. The kid's coming in. I haven't even met him, and you want me to give him an NG? That ain't happening. Put him in my class Thursday when we come back for second quarter. So, yeah, there's all that going on. How are you guys? We got the Dream Machine up in the corner up there, giving you the finger. K Watts here with us today. Good to see him. And Coach Noobs, he's got the dark shades on and the Wake Forest stuff in the background, still rubbing that Pitt loss to Wake Forest in our right.
Rolling Justin Fields style with the sunglasses at night.
Oh, shoot.
That or Corey Hart. What's his name? Corey Hart.
There you go. I'm about to say Brian Adams.
Yeah. Hey, guys, let's get it kicked off with a little spontaneous reaction. Did you guys get to check out the clip I sent you? This is a game that's played in Florence, Italy. It is just brutal. The premise is to kick each other's ass, basically. It's a combination of soccer, MMA, rugby, and some kind of, let's call it football. Did you guys check that out?
100%.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
No.
Like, dudes are just punching each other in the face and getting up and running after that. I thought it was one of the wildest things. To me, one of the wildest things is the fact that guys are like 45 years old and they're still playing that sport, just getting beaten like a dog. The other neat thing, it comes from 4 different provinces in Italy, in Florence. It's not like it's all over Italy. So that's what makes it kind of interesting. Those guys could drive over to each other's place and drink some wine afterwards. But
I like it that it's like my hometown versus your hometown. Let's go. And it's and they just all the boys from my hood are gonna take all the boys from your hood, and we're going at it. Let's go.
I like that, new bastard. I like that. So that means if you live in the village, you're gonna play for Watkins Mill. I got you.
Yes. You're not playing for DeMatha.
Yeah, you're not getting them transfer papers to go over to QO for this one. If you do, they're going to beat your ass, and you're not going to be able to do it. They're going to break your legs or something like that. What did you think of it, Waddy?
I'm of the, it reminded me of the old school, kind of the way you used to play football when you go out there and then when you get mad at each other and then you just start fighting a little bit. That's kind of what it reminded me of, But would I do it at my age today? No.
And those guys, some of those guys are just like, what, maybe 8 years younger, 10 years younger? Yeah, they're not that much younger than where we sit right now. And I just think the shit was crazy. I watched an entire documentary on it on Netflix. Actually what Netflix had was a series, and they did all these interesting sports over abroad, like it like that one in Florence, and there's just like 5 of them, and they're just crazy. It's on Netflix though. You can find it. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to Google it, but I don't think I would have even played that in my 20s or 30s, as crazy as I was. I mean, they're just pounding on each other, just full on fist punching and then picking the ball up and running and getting destroyed. I thought it was great. Noobs, would you play? You're a big ass dude.
Yeah, man. The hometown needs you to get the victory. You gotta play for the hometown team and get it done, man. I would have definitely played. I probably got knocked out, but I would have had fun doing it.
I'm curious if they have jobs. You go to work on Monday after this?
Oh yeah, you're just gonna be limping a little bit.
I don't think they get paid to do this. I do not think they get paid to do this. This is like you guys said. This is like it's for the village. You know what I mean? Like they're coming in with their village people, and they're packing those stands.
Young men.
Yeah. Rasheen, how about you, man? Would you have done it?
In my heyday, when I could run real fast, probably. Yeah. But now, man, my wife probably wouldn't allow it.
Nah, that'd be like playing rugby right now, except you wouldn't take punches to the face. Hopefully,
and I'm too handsome. You know what I mean? I can't.
Oh. Yeah, age is doing you well, my man. Age is doing you well.
Yeah.
Hey, the second one, I don't know if you guys looked at this when I sent out the show notes, but I was a little taken back by this one about Dwight Howard, how he got a sexual misconduct charge pushed on him. Happened a few years back during his playing days. I didn't know the man was gay, but we got into a conversation. I got into a conversation with somebody about it, and they were telling me those dudes just do whatever when they're on the road. You know, like, man, that dude's nice looking. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get after him. Or I was taken back by the whole thing. Yeah.
Should we talk about this?
I'm not going down this slippery slope.
I thought it was crazy.
Slippery slope.
First of all, I didn't know he came out as he came out as gay. I didn't know that.
I didn't know he was either.
He didn't, and that's what shocked me.
Okay.
That's what shocked me. I was like, wait a minute. What?
So
wait.
in the post, is that his coming out?
I don't think so. No? He doesn't comment really on it. Okay. It's just that this guy that he supposedly was with charged him with sexual misconduct. They had a thing, and something must have gone awry at some point, or he's trying to cash in, and now he put that man on blast. Maybe nobody knew this about D. Howard. I don't know, but
a lot of guys didn't want to play with him. So I mean, maybe they knew. It just didn't say. And we got to stop doing to us people. We got to stop saying whatever they do on their time is their time. We got to stop. We got to stop giving that, just saying that. You can't just say that about everything. Hey, man, he killed 3 people. Well, whatever he does on his time, that's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. We got to stop that. But go ahead.
From what perspective, though?
Guys should stop raping other guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Even if it's on their time.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna get in a lot of trouble talking about this.
I'm not going there.
You can't.
I'm not going there.
I guess my premise was the fact that I was shocked about Dwight Howard. That's all. I was just kind of shocked that.
These days, though, I mean, I'm not shocked by anything that goes on.
Pretty much.
When you think about this playing style, I don't know. It may reflect that. I don't know.
You want me to say the word?
No.
Soft in the paint?
Okay, so
what you were thinking?
He couldn't push Shaq out the paint, is what you're saying.
Shaq ain't going in paint.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Let's go.
He might like to receive more than give. I don't know.
Who knows? Right. Hey, the Pittsburgh Pirates became the first professional team to have all 9 players be of Latino or Black origin, race, whatever you want to say there. It was recorded in August of 1971. Coincidentally, that was the year that they also won the World Series. Here are the percentages of this year's race in Major League Baseball. White, 57.5, Hispanic, 31.9, Black, 7.7, and Asian and other, 2.9%. I don't know I don't know, man. That has to be from MLB the whole way down, because I personally, I watched more baseball this year than I have in previous years.
Me too.
I do not see a lot of African-American Black guys playing baseball. There's not a lot of guys. There just isn't. Not like there used to be. Your Dave Winfields and stuff like that.
I can tell you. The hell? I don't ask for Zoom. I can tell you that, that's just, for me, in my opinion, this is what I think. I don't want to join the meeting. It's just not pushed in the Black communities. To me, it should, because it's all the money you can make. But it's just not pushed. And like when they say, hey, when we're playing a sport, and you say, hey, I'm this person, or I'm Michael Jordan, or I'm this person, I'm whoever the case may be. There's no one in baseball to say, hey, I'm this person now. I mean, back then, I guess in my day, we had Barry Bonds,
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, Ricky Henderson,
Dave Winfield, maybe.
Dave Winfield, Dave Stewart, Ace,
J.R. Richards pitching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just for some odd reason, it's just not pushed in our community.
Do you think it's a facility thing? Like there aren't facilities and it's just not offered to kids as much? Like baseball as a sport is not offered to kids as much, like in the inner city, or what?
It's a facility because, I mean, honestly, you can play baseball anywhere. You don't have to really be a baseball field per se. You know what I mean? Like we just played wherever we could put all the bases in. Yeah, we just played.
But it's not as accessible as basketball. I mean, basketball you can play anywhere.
No, it's just that whole, like I said, it's that whole thing. Whereas in basketball, you had Jordan. You got the Jordan shoes. You got Durant. You got everybody. You know what I mean? And that's LeBron and Kobe's. And the football and the basketball play a part of hip hop also. Baseball,
the culture
doesn't fit into the hip hop for some weird reason. Now, I can give you a story of when I was younger and we were, in Pittsburgh, and we would go to clubs that night. You would see the Steelers, and you knew, okay, that's Bettis. Or you would see, we didn't have basketball, but over in the corner be a guy, and you're like, why is he over there sitting by himself? And you'd be like, oh, damn, that's such and such. He plays for the Pirates. Meanwhile, he got all the money. He's throwing all the money. The girls, the guys ain't even talking to this guy. Just the Bettises and the Steelers and all that. It's like it's just not pushed. It's not pushed. I think it's the music, the culture, media.
Also, too, you have football, which is now turned into a year-round sport. Basketball has turned into a year-round sport. So those guys that play those multiple sports, they don't do that anymore. It's one sport, and that's it now. So that baseball in the spring, probably not. It's not happening.
Do you agree with that, Kevin? Do you think these guys should be locked in at a young age playing one sport?
No, I do not agree with it. I think you should play multi-sports. One, you train the body, through other sports. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. It makes you better, It also introduces muscles that you may never had before or you thought you didn't even have that may be there. The hand-eye coordination. I would have loved to play baseball, but I was scared of the ball coming at me. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't standing in that box and watching somebody pitch that thing.
I'm not doing that. That's common.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
We played more baseball than basketball growing up. We didn't play a lot of basketball. Well, I did. My street where we live, we played a lot of baseball. So the Pirates were good too back then. But
yeah, we didn't really play much basketball either. It was more baseball. We played a lot of baseball, a lot of football. Football is the main thing with the people I hung out with. We always played football. Pick up games.
And when you guys, and a good example here is for you guys at that time, it was like you played multiple sports. But as you've gone through the time, nobody really does that. Nobody played. I mean, think of your good athletes. They don't play multiple sports anymore. They kind of concentrate on that one, and that's it. And I get it. I understand it because you're trying to make that, bottom line, you're trying to make that money. So you concentrate on the one, but that multi-athlete, he's far few in between.
Yep.
I will say that when I was growing up, we would play in the summer. We'd play baseball. We'd get up, go straight to the baseball field, maybe go to the pool for a couple of hours if it was a really hot day, and then go down the basketball courts because they were close to each other and play basketball in the evening because there'd be a lot of older people there playing too. So it was like it was very social. It was very social. And then as it got to fall, I didn't start playing football till 8th grade. But so a lot of my buddies didn't. So we would play baseball during the day and then, or baseball in the evening and then play pickup football at night, how how can they solve the problem? Because I feel like it's a problem. I feel like there are a lot of kids out there that could be very good at multiple sports, and baseball is one of them. How do we get those, like you said, Rasheen, inner city kids to get interested in it?
Probably, of course, if you're talking money, that'll bring a lot of interest. Money. That's tough.
I think it might be too far gone.
You
Yeah,
think?
I really do. I do.
I will tell you that on the other side of the money piece of it, making it, to have my kid play baseball, he's playing on a travel team again this year.
How much money you pay for that?
Well,
Now you have to tell me the number.
Let me give you this first.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So
So the team he played on last year did not have one black kid. None.
Mm-hmm.
No Hispanic kids. None. No Asian kids. None. The team he's on this year has one black boy that plays, and I don't think any Asian kids or Latino kids. Maybe one Latino kid too. Maybe two. I can't remember off the top of my head. But and we just played 24 games this fall. But Kevin, just to get a bat that they want you to get, he has to have what's called a drop 3 BB core. That bat, the cheapest one is like $300.
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
like
you'd already outpriced me.
No inner city kid. No. A lot of families can't afford that.
No,
Baseball,
they can't even buy the bag.
Hey,
the bag costs another $300.
Well, the bag's all part of the price, and the price. You ready for this? $1,500, and you have to $500. You have to find a $500 sponsor too. Otherwise, you're paying $2,000 out of your pocket.
Wow,
that's not happening.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's $30 to play Little League football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now with Little League guys, when I was growing up, and I don't know if it was the same if it was the same for you, but I didn't have to buy a bat. I had to have a glove. That's all I had to have. I was a catcher. They had catcher's equipment there for me. They had a bag of bats. Okay. 8, 10 bats. They had all the balls. They had the helmets. I didn't have to buy a helmet. Now these kids have to come in with their own stuff. And it really, I think you hit the nail on the head. But on the other side of that, you're right too, where that's where all the money is. All the money's in that sport. That and golf, and I don't know what it costs to play golf because I'm so bad. I try not to play it.
You're a pitcher in baseball and be 7-12 last year, and you'll get $1 million contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch what happens at the Hot Stove League. It's coming up in November, end of November, after the World Series. You'll have free agency start. Some moderate guys will go, but then once you start getting into December, when they have the owners and GMs meetings, that's where you'll see things kind of heat up. What I have been noticing from baseball is the high ticketed guys, the guys who really make a lot of money, they drag their feet on signing those guys as quickly now. They really don't. I think because they see the market get set in other sports by signing them so quickly and giving up all that cash. But in baseball, you can do that because there is no cap. And that's when we get to the end of the show, we'll talk about the World Series a little bit, but that's what's making this World Series pretty interesting, to be honest with you.
Who would you say is the best player now? Ohtani?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hands down. Hands down.
He pitches and plays in the
he's the modern day Babe Ruth.
Wow.
Is what he is. He's the modern day Babe Ruth. And it's not even close.
He's real good at both, right?
Oh, he's fantastic at both. If you look at his numbers. Now he did throw he hurt his owner. The same thing that Brock Purdy hurt last year in the playoff game. That happened to him. So he didn't pitch the last month, 6 weeks, but he was still batting. And then with about 3 weeks to go in the season, they knew they weren't going to the playoffs, so they pulled the plug. Now, here's a big thing with Ohtani is the fact that he's a free agent this year. Yeah. And unless the Angels show some kind of commitment to increasing the salary and getting some real players in, he's going to walk. I've heard to the Dodgers, I've heard to San Francisco. He wants to stay, from what I've read, out there where there's a large population of Asians. And I can't blame him. It's like when you play hockey, you want to go to Florida if you're on the East Coast because there's a large population of Russians down in Florida playing. So, So I mean, I do like baseball. I watched a lot this year. I watched a whole lot. My team is the Pirates, as you guys know, and they were fun to watch for a long time. Then they got really crappy to watch, and then they got really fun again at the end of the year when they traded away all the garbage and all these young guys rose to the task. I mean, that's the fun thing about it. So let's get into the NFL, man. Week 8, Saints 38, Colts 27. Gardner Minshew led that team. I thought it was interesting. The Colts were winning this game, and then Kamara kind of came in and took it over. I saw something today, his numbers compared to CMC, and he actually has the same, if not better, numbers in a number of categories. And I thought that was pretty interesting about him. Their D the Saints D is pretty legit, to be honest with you. They played very well. Can they win that division? I mean, you see the way things are shaking out there. You got Atlanta, Carolina, the Saints, and Tampa? Is that the fourth one in that division?
Yeah.
Can the Saints be the one?
Yes.
Definitely. Kamara's got fresh legs. He didn't play the first 3 games. He's under suspension.
Yeah.
So he looks great, man. He looked awesome in that game. And I agree. I'd take him over Christian McCaffrey any day.
Any day?
I like McCaffrey. I like the way he plays. I just don't know about his durability, and I know he's had some freak injuries.
Hit me with that.
But Kamara, man, I really like the way he plays.
Yeah, but Kamara's the one out in the clubs getting in trouble, getting suspended.
Well, we can hang out together then after the game. I'll cheer him on. I like Kamara.
Go, Alvin.
I've always liked him. I like him.
You said like Kamara was here and CMC was here.
It's. I mean, you could take either one, but if I had to pick one,
okay,
I'm taking Kamara.
All right.
You think because he's grittier? He seems grittier than McCaffrey.
What the hell's that?
He seems just a tiny bit more fluid to me. Like McCaffrey's a little stiff, in my opinion. Now he does make people miss. He is explosive. He just seems a tiny bit mechanical to me.
So he's like that dude at the club that shouldn't be dancing. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got the.
He's like me. McCaffrey's like me. I want somebody that's not like me.
Yeah. Exactly. We don't want that. When he hears this,
here we go.
There's a lot of touchdowns.
McCaffrey's just over there like this. Come on.
Right. Kamara's over there getting everybody fired up to fight.
Yeah, hell yeah. But McCaffrey's still standing over there.
That's why he was suspended.
I agree with you, Noobs. I do like him better. I know he's had some freak injuries, but man, how many years has he played now? 7 years? Is this year 7? And he's had like 4 years of injuries. Yeah. It's not a gray area. It was amazing though how he went to Frisco last year and there was no problems, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree with you guys both, but man, the boy is.
They're both really good. They're both 1A and 1B, you could say, probably, right?
I like that. All right, now we can move on. I like
that. Yeah.
The news was just pushing my boy out the subway door.
Too emphatic about it. My bad.
Hey, I didn't see this before, but I don't know who it was. They said Dwight is slippery. Okay. Moving right along. That Vikings-Packers game, I am worried about the Vikings, though, okay? So Cousins is done for the year. They completely ruled it 2 days ago.
Like that.
That's my quarterback.
Does that affect their whole offense, too, though? I mean, like...
It affects my offense. It affects my fantasy offense.
Justin Jefferson's not even playing right now. He's due to come back, though. Is that going to drop his stock considerably? The year I take that son of a bitch, he gets hurt, and now he's got a shitty quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Dobbs is going over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dobbs was okay with the Cardinals. He didn't have many weapons. Name a weapon for the Cardinals. Go.
I don't need to name weapons. I just watch the mechanical issues.
INTs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that, like, let's put it this way: unless the Vikings are going to say, "All right, we have to now commit to a running game first," unless they're willing to do that, because they weren't willing to do that with Cousins, obviously, then they're in trouble. But if they want to say, "All right, we're going to commit to a running game first, and then work in the play action with Dobbs and so forth, and put them on the move," and they'll be okay. But they got to show that they can run the ball first.
Let me ask you guys a question. How's Devontae Adams doing with the new quarterback? He was pretty good last year with Carr, wasn't he?
Yep.
I think that's part of why, and we're going to get to this a little bit later, but I think that has something to do with that coach being fired as well. Yeah, I really do. But that Vikings offense, you guys, it's pretty young. I mean, Jay's young. What is he, mid-20s? You know, and then you got Addison, who really, he's showing that he's worth a number one. You've got Akers there now, who's still mid-20s, and then you got Madison and you got Hawkinson.
Yeah, don't forget about my man Hawkinson now.
You know, so what do you do? Do you come in there and maybe kind of tank it a little bit? Because Cousins is done after this year on his contract there, I believe, and start looking for.
You can't tank it. Aren't they 4-3?
Yes.
Yeah,
are they
4-3 now? Yeah, they can't tank it.
Here we go.
You'll lose that locker room.
What are they taking to do that?
They need to get a quarterback now, though. I mean, like next year, they need a young guy to match up with that young offense.
Caleb Williams, you like?
I don't think they're going to re-sign Cousins. I don't think they want to. Do you? They would have given him a contract during the season.
Yeah,
or before the season.
If I were the Jets, I'd have been knocking on their door, offering something, try to offer something decent to get Cousins over to New York. I don't know. Like I don't. I know they're saying Aaron Rodgers is going to come back, but
haven't you seen him whipping the ball around?
Yeah,
he don't look like he was hurt. I mean, I'm sure he was. I'm not saying he was lying, but he dropped back and.
Did you see that meme that Newbizer sent? It had Leftwich doing what he did, completing a pass 30 yards downfield, and then the lineman picking him up and carrying him. They're like Aaron Rodgers on his first game back. You know, like, I don't know. It's the guy's 39 years old, almost 40 years old. That's
scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about your body, and you weren't a pro athlete.
Does it seem like there's more injuries this year than normal, or is it just every year and we just like recency bias? What do you guys think?
I think it's probably the same amount, but what's interesting is you bring that up, the hamstring injuries. There's hamstring injuries after hamstring injuries after hamstring injuries. What's that about? Is that part of the script or what?
Oh, Lord.
I always thought if a guy got a hamstring injury, especially one that lingered, he didn't train hard enough in the offseason.
I don't. They're professional athletes. I don't know about that. I just think it's the way they train. Is that what's doing it? I think, is something, because there's a lot. Think of the Steelers. How many hamstring injuries we've had?
Yeah.
It's like 4 guys have gone out with hamstring injuries.
Is it part of the script?
I don't know.
I need to know.
I don't do scripts. I can't.
I
don't know. I just think it's interesting. That's all. It's very
I would say it has to be part of the training process. That something's being neglected. Like they're not hitting the upper hamstring enough, or the lower hamstring, or they're not getting enough repetitions to equal out with the quad strength. Or there's got to be some type of training issue.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's why I said I always thought hamstring was part of the flexibility that you develop in the off season to come into the season and, be able to take that wear and tear on your legs, no matter what the sport is.
Yeah.
And all right, moving along. Jaguars 20, Steelers 10.
Move on.
The Jags are better.
You got to talk about the elephant in the room, though.
They weren't great. I wasn't like, ooh. You know what I mean? The Jaguars.
Wait, who's the elephant, noobs?
Offensive coordinator.
Oh,
Canada.
Well, they're not going to get rid of Canada, so.
No, they're not. They're not. I mean, it's.
I I don't even
I'm out of breath with it. I don't even know what else to say. I don't know what to say. I really don't.
I'd rather go to the next one.
Yeah.
They turned the ball
They
over.
got to be near the
Steelers
bottom of the
forced-
league, right?
What's that?
They
Where
are.
they in scoring? They got to be the bottom of the league.
They
Right?
Oh,
are.
yeah. We average like 17 points a game.
17, you sure?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
high.
No, well, the defense scores 2 of them every game, and then the offense gets us the field goal. That's how that's been going.
Let me see. Steelers points per game. It can't be 17, bro. We're at the bottom. You're right. 16-1.
Okay,
Wow.
17.
Vegas, New
So
England.
low.
17.
How about this though? Let's not talk about Pittsburgh. Let's talk about Jacksonville. Are they really a 6-2 team?
Yeah.
They're averaging 24.
I mean, I know what the record says, but
Yeah.
I was not impressed with Trevor Lawrence. Not like I was waiting for him to go off the chain against that secondary, and I wasn't impressed. In fact, he didn't even really run the ball, did he?
He got a knee issue going, and
Yeah.
it's kind of wet. I mean, I know
It was wet too. It was wet out there. It was pouring down rain.
I kind of don't like to use that excuse in the pros, but
It was real. Those guys were slipping, dropping balls. I mean, it was real.
Lawrence, he's probably a C+ B- quarterback. C+. I don't know.
Is he in the top 10 or top 15?
15.
I'll say 15.
Oh, he's definitely in the top 15. Yeah,
Easily 15. Yeah, I agree. Easily 15. He's right on that bubble.
yeah, definitely.
10. It could be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
All right, so
Easily.
Pickett's got 20 games under his belt now. Is it time to start thinking he's not going to be the guy? Or is this all part of
Listen,
I can't. I mean, as much as I struggle to go back and forth with this, I can't get a clear evaluation on the kid when his offensive is just not. It's terrible. It's not set up to help him at all.
that's it right there. I mean, yeah, that's it. I agree.
And I still don't understand, why is he just dropping back? The kid can move. I don't understand that. Why are we doing that? We know our offensive line is suspect, and we continue to just drop him back and let this kid try to pass. Why are we doing that?
That's like asking, why are we pitching the ball to Harris? Remember,
Yeah, that blew my mind.
same thing with Bettis. Why would you ever pitch the ball to Bettis? Hand it to him and let him run.
That blew my mind. Do you give Najee Harris? Do you give him that 5th year after when you're going into next year? You got to declare if you're going to keep him the year after next year.
Listen,
Do you declare that?
What's the price at this point? Because I know running backs have been devalued. What's the price?
It might be worth it. That's a good point.
Yeah,
it might be
what's
worth
the
it.
price?
No, I don't want him taking up a spot. Can we find anyone else?
Really?
How about
He's
if we
that
get a
bad?
different coordinator?
He's not that bad. That's why I said I got to know what the offense. Give me somebody else. Like, the scheme is terrible.
Okay,
It's
here.
terrible.
There's never a wide open hole for him to hit, is there? I mean, every time I've watched him, he's trying to run through nothing. Like, there's 4 guys standing there.
You don't
Great
see the
tackle.
hole, noobs. He don't
Yeah.
see the hole.
He doesn't see it.
I agree with
Right,
you,
Watson?
Rasheem.
Right or wrong, Watson?
He does miss the holes, but he's not that type of back either. He's a back that's going to basically put his head down and he's going to get what he can get. The Warren is the guy that's going to hit your holes and then scoot and scat through. I like the 1-2 of those guys. I really do. I like the 1-2 of them, but in order to offer him that 5th, I got to know what that price is first. Because if it's way up there, then no, I'm not doing that.
He's not soon. I got to. If we
Do
learn
you think it would help the Steelers if they came out, instead of coming out with Najee and 3 receivers, maybe come out first series, double tight, Warren in the backfield, and do some different shit instead of coming out and being predictable like they are? Like, I don't get it. Go ahead.
I don't like anything double tight with our guys. We never spread people out and try to run. We always, anytime we come in like that, it's a run. We know, like, come on, dude, spread out. Like
Under center, like it's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Double tight, that's fine. But before you come up, say something, make them spread out. Boom. And go from there. Let our 5 go against their 6 or 5, whatever the case may be. But we never.
You know, the Jacksonville defense came out again and said they knew what we were running. They were calling the mess out again.
Let me ask you a question. Who's the better Harris, Najee or Franco?
Oh, gosh, that's not even close. Yeah.
Well, Pittsburgh's got a short turnaround. Pickett says he's playing. I don't believe him. We'll see what happens.
It don't even matter.
One more question for you, though.
Mason.
If you don't have Pickett, are you playing Mason Rudolph or are you playing
Mason
Trubisky?
Mason. I can't watch Trubisky anymore.
Mason will definitely
watch that.
He will at least go downfield 5, 6, 7 times a game.
Yeah, I can't watch that.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Trubisky's terrible. Woo, he's bad.
Yeah.
11 million, baby.
That one he threw into triple coverage. I'm glad we still have my TV. That's all I'm going to say.
Let me ask you a question with that, Mark. Did you see Deontay Johnson to the right of him? One-on-one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you've seen that.
Well, I've got the fortunate advantage. A kid gave me all 22 at school. They come. There's a group of kids that come into my room, and they watch all 22 on Tuesdays. They're called the All 22 Club, and they come in and it's it's in the memory of my computer. So yesterday I was sitting by Noobs and I start showing them shit. I was watching the All 22, and there are dudes running free everywhere. Now I do contest the people being pissed off about the Deontay Johnson falling in the end zone, Pickett throwing the ball late. Pickett was expecting him to sit.
Yes.
Not keep moving. He wanted him to sit because the safety was drifting back. He wanted him to sit right here and hit him with the ball. He threw where he wanted him to be. And people don't see that or understand that. That ball, ball to Pickens, if you look at that pass, that ball to Pickens was not a bad ball. He may have come out a little late, but it was also raining like hell when he threw that one too. So we don't know what that played into it. The one to Deontay Johnson down the middle of the field to start the game, that's on Johnson. The one on third down in the first series, that's on Johnson. That was on Johnson. I mean, it was just, I went back and I watched it 2-3 times. I'm like, how the fuck do you not catch that? That's right there. You're a professional.
I know he had 3 drops, guys.
And then he's going to want paid, by the way. That dude's going to want paid. All right, Browns and Seahawks. I thought this game was interesting because the Browns led this game quite a bit, and then the Seahawks came back and won this 24-20. The Browns are still playing without Deshaun Watson, the $235 million man. Shoulder, arm, upper body, something. There's something fishy going on there. What do you guys think about that?
As long as he don't ask no one to massage it, he'll be fine.
Dwight Howard. We get Dwight Howard in there.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Why did you do that to me?
Oh, no. I'm not going there.
I mean, I guess he's hurt. I mean,
what a cluster F. Like, how do you sign a guy to that much money who has character issues and hasn't played in 2 years? Like, what they think was going to happen?
He was never dynamic. He was only good in Clemson. He didn't do anything down in Houston. I never understood the hype. I'm
with you too. I couldn't figure it out when he wasn't playing. Everyone was like, "He's top 5 quarterback in the league."
Never
good. Like, what?
Never understood.
He had a really good receiver, but I don't know.
He had good running back. He had good receivers. Their defense was solid.
Yep.
They were okay up front. Like they were a playoff contender.
Are you talking about Texans or?
Texans.
Yeah, the Texans before. Texans. Yeah, he was good. I thought he was good.
Good, yeah.
I didn't know he was great. They made him sound like he was a legend.
Yeah, he was a young Jacoby Brissett. That's what he was.
That's right. Yeah, except Brissett's more durable. And he don't go to the massage parlor.
There you go.
Yeah, Brissett's kept it clean. That we know about. He might hang out with Dwight. Who knows?
Y'all know we had one up here in Frederick that just got raided, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Which
the
one?
Rundown. Over by Kittywide. Over by West. Over by the old movie place.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the Browns now, they're being carried by their defense. The Browns are being carried by that defense.
Good defense.
Are they going to fall into the same fate as the Steelers if they don't get their number one quarterback, or does that not matter for them anymore? Because
apparently PJ Walker, this dude, he won't go away. He won't go away. Like, how is he able to? Okay, here's my other point. How is he able to score over 30-some points with the Cleveland Browns when their first running back gone, second running back gone, and then their receivers, he's only throwing to one guy. That's it. And Njoku, I'm sorry. So he's got two guys. How are they able to do that and we can't? We have better players on offense, and that PJ Walker is able to do that.
Their line is pretty studly, though.
It is.
That offensive line is studly.
Okay. So is that how he's able to do it?
I'm saying a third running back can get through that hole.
Okay. All right.
I also think that they're going to come to a headway here because the money's going to start showing up real soon.
Oh, it is.
The money's going to start showing up. Their big three are paid.
Mm-hmm.
Chubb's paid.
Mm-hmm.
Watson's paid, and Myles Garrett's paid. But how about the other guys?
Who's their big three? I didn't even know they had big three. But go ahead.
Well, technically, that's their big three.
Yeah.
When you look at the aspect of producing or supposed to produce, but they're going to be interesting to watch. It's really wild how Baltimore is 6-2 and everybody else is 4-3. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say Cincinnati wins that division.
That's not bold. That's
wow.
not bold.
It kind of is though with the Ravens. Like the Ravens have two wins up on them.
I'm going with the
Ravens. They're flawed too. They're flawed, man. They're flawed.
It's crazy because they don't really have anyone.
They're doing it with smoke and mirrors.
It is.
I've watched them. They do it with smoke and mirrors.
Well, they got some good developers.
Yep, they might. But I'll tell you what, a lot of it's smoke and mirrors. I was watching last week, and I saw freaking Lamar getting chased out of the pocket. He literally went. I can't even show you how he threw it to the dude. I was like, what the hell was that? Like, it wasn't like I'm a Holmes type. I know I can get it there. I'm gonna do this. It was like a desperation. The guy was gonna catch him, and he just kind of. I don't know. Like I've seen him throw this way.
That part doesn't bother me at all. That doesn't bother me. I mean, that's just changing the trajectory. That's fine. That's whatever. The interesting piece is just like, how do they keep winning? How? They're
the number one team in the league with sacks, right?
Oh wow.
They are the number one team. They said that last week.
Well, they do blitz. I mean, they come at you. There's no doubt about it. They blitz.
But who the hell's their number one sacker? Who is their rush guy? Okay, you look at Cleveland, you can say Myles Garrett. You look at Dallas, you can say
the Queen?
Mike. No.
Oh, you talking about for who?
Raven.
For the Ravens.
Who is it?
Ain't it?
I don't know.
Oh.
Owusu or something.
I don't know. Who leads them in sacks?
Oh, yeah, Owusu. That sounds right.
I have no clue.
That's what makes them interesting from that perspective. And then they got a hell of a fight out of the Cardinals guys, since we're talking about them, 31-24. And I said the Ravens weren't impressive. If the Cardinals had more pieces to the puzzle in terms of putting more points on the board, they could have handedly beat them. Like I watched that game too. I thought the Cardinals looked pretty good in that game. I'm like you guys. I just don't. Yes, they're 6-2. Yes, they're probably one of the best teams in the AFC, if not the NFL right now, based on that. But I'm not looking at them and seeing like a San Francisco at the beginning of the year or Kansas City when they're.
Two things. It's Maradei by somebody named Maradei. He has 6.5 sacks. That's one. Justin Maradei from Texas A&M. He's a defensive tackle, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. And going back to you said they didn't look good against the Cardinals, but the thing about that is, and that's weird because even with the Commanders, they always play the good teams tough or beat the good teams, and then they lose to the Cardinals. So,
but the Cardinals are not bad. I'm telling you, it's so much better than their record.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
I've watched them play 3 games, and they're actually a good football team.
Yeah, I agree.
Just not good enough to win.
Not yet. Not yet. I think that guy's going to be okay for them, though. I was a little skeptical on him, that hire, the way he came in, and they showed some footage of him and some of the silly stuff he did. But those guys like him. Like I was watching his demeanor on the sidelines, the guys interacting with him, all those little things, and those guys like him.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about Jonathan Gore. What's his name? Jonathan.
For what team?
For the Cardinals, the head coach.
He was the Eagles coordinator.
Yeah, Jonathan.
I have no clue.
I'm drawing a blank on his last name.
I thought it was still Kingsbury.
No, he's a young buck, though. I mean, he's a real young guy.
Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon. That's it.
Where did he come from? Whose tree?
He was the coordinator in Philly last year, right?
That's why they brought him in.
Okay.
Which is smart. How old is he?
He is 40.
Young.
He's 40.
Cleveland. He's a Cleveland native.
The next guy to be plucked like that is going to be the offensive coordinator from the Texans. That's who it's going to be, because what he's doing with that team. Can the Ravens sustain this? I mean, OBJ threw a fit on this. Did you guys see OBJ's fit? He threw a fit because he didn't have any catches. He went nuts on this.
Good. Huh? He's not very good. He ought to just take that $18 million he's gonna make and just go quietly.
Well, he said this is his last year. He's retiring after this year.
Yeah, take that $18 million. Shoot, be quiet.
And people take that as he's angry at the team. He might be angry with himself. He's not getting separation. He just can't do it. It's got to be incredibly frustrating.
Yeah. Remember, this guy blew out his knee at the Super Bowl a couple years ago, sat out the entire season last year. His body's a year older.
Listen, I believe it's Leonard Skinner who says, take the money and run.
Yep. Now, with the Ravens, I will say this, too. You can start thinking about taking what's his name away again and changing the dynamic of that team, Mark Andrews.
No.
Because that's
Good
where
luck.
that's where they're going with the ball all the time. If you can take him away.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not much different than taking Kelsey away, though, man. People all say they're going to do it.
Andrews,
nobody can do it.
Yeah.
He's nice. He's nice.
Yeah. Andrews is very good. Andrews is very good. I will say that. And he makes Lamar's passing game. I haven't heard much about Zay Flowers since Andrews really stepped it up.
Yeah, no,
not a whole hell of a lot.
Let
me go back. The game of the week. Oh, no, let's go to this game first. Eagles and Commanders. Let's go to the Eagles and Commanders. Mike, talk a little bit about Sam Howell.
So before this game, he was holding the ball too long, getting sacked. He was on pace to set the sack record for a season. He may still be on that pace. I don't know. But this game, he made a point. You could tell it was a clear point. Get rid of the ball right now. Like, he got rid of the ball. He did not hold on to it. He did a better job. He's an accurate passer. He's somewhat cerebral. I think he thinks about it too much sometimes. He misses guys occasionally, but he seems like he goes through his reads, his progressions. I think he wants to make a play every time, and he's learning how to sometimes just throw the ball away, But I think he could be the quarterback of the future for them, and they could be okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
I like him better than Cousins.
I like him better than Pickett right now.
At this stage.
It tells you there he was obviously he's been coached. He's been coached up from the week before to this week, where you could see those mistakes he made the week before. He didn't make them this week. He didn't make them. I mean, he was on point with it. And you got to also think, how many games has he even started in the NFL? So this dude is still learning. And once you pick up all these little things that's being taught and this and that, I mean, I've always said, I've been a Sam.
We lost Waddy.
Oh, shoot.
There he is. He's back. He's coming back.
We lost you.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay.
You're here.
It stopped when you said, I've always been a Sam, and then it stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, how fan.
So let me say this. If you had to go back 2 years ago to the draft when the Steelers took Kenny Pickett #1 and Howe was taken in the 3rd or 5th round? In the 5th round. If you had to go back, hindsight being 2020, obviously, would you maybe take Howe in the 3rd round and just not even touch Pickett?
No.
I go with K. Waddy. What he said earlier, he said it's the coordinator in Pittsburgh. If you put Howell in that situation in Pittsburgh, he might look worse.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
He might look worse than Pickett.
I mean, the body of work Pickett put together at Pitt, I know a lot of people are like, well, his last year he went off the chain. But the body of work he put together, you saw his growth throughout the years. And that's where my problem comes in. Like, you saw his growth, and he had a couple of different offensive coordinators there too. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's
scheme, man. It's the scheme. I'm just, it really is. It's not helping. It's
no
not
imagination to that scheme.
No, there's none.
Do you think that
it's like Walkersville's coach?
Let me ask you this: do you think that? Okay,
hopefully he's not watching.
I'm not going there.
Rasheen's right. I mean, it might not be Tomlin's decision in terms of getting rid of Canada, but are the Steelers setting Tomlin up for failure by them not letting him move on from Canada?
Well, that's what I was saying, though, because, I said that about, I forget where I said that, but if I'm the manager and I'm managing you three guys and my job depends on what you three do, if Kevin ain't doing what he's doing, I got to throw him out. But now if you ain't going to let me throw Kevin out, that means, you're allowing me to not throw him out. So that means I'm good. You can't fire me because.
Right. That makes sense.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I guarantee that's what's going. I'm almost 100% that's what's going on. There's no way in the world.
It has to be.
There's no way in the world you can even sit back and say that what's going on that offensive side of the ball is okay. There's no way.
You might have pictures of Tomlin doing something bad.
Man.
Canada might.
Yeah, he might. I heard of some things he did one time, trying to be a little tricky about it, but that's okay. But it's there's no way though. We're all football guys here. We all can see that is not good. So
I'm gonna make a quote and say, y'all are football guys. I just played football, but I can tell that stinks.
Yeah. I mean, I got my daughters watch the game. They can tell that stinks. I mean, come on.
You know what's apparent is when you're watching the game and the defense knows what's coming, and you see the safety rock up, and he's going to the side. They're going to run the ball, and you could see guys moving to where the ball's going before it even happens. That's when you know something's not awry. Something's not good.
Let me ask you a question. What is that? Is it something that the quarterback's saying? Is it formation?
Tendency. It's a tendency.
Formations. I think it's formations and personnel. Formations and personnel.
When he goes in motion and this guy's setting right here,
we do the same thing.
I mean,
we don't change anything up.
No, he doesn't. Back to the Commanders and Eagles. We're going to talk about the trades here in a couple seconds, but in terms of the Eagles, like, they just keep on chugging along. You see them right now, mid-season. Do you see them as a Super Bowl contender from the NFC? Absolutely. Are they the team?
I do, but I also see them kind of, like you said, chugging along, kind of like the Ravens. Like, hey,
no, they're better than the Ravens, though.
I'm not saying they're the Eagles. I'm just saying, like, the Eagles, it ain't like they busting people up.
Yeah.
Here come the Eagles. Let's hide the kids. Like,
they're doing just enough to get a win. Exactly, and that was apparent in that Washington game. It was neck and neck right there. Washington's right there, and at the end they just pulled it out just enough, just like they did the first time they played. Their defense didn't look scary though. Their defensive line is supposed to be amazing, and the Washington's offensive line is awful, horrible. And
they get a couple injuries in that D-line?
A little bit, yeah. They did get banged up. True. Yeah. Yep, they're a little banged up.
But got a little banged up. Then they just see, this is the other thing with the Eagles too, is they went out and they had some trade over here too. Like, they went and picked up somebody.
Fired.
They got that safety from Buffalo.
There you go. So you got somebody. Yeah. So they recognize.
No, they got a safety from Tennessee.
They got
Tennessee. I'm sorry. Tennessee got rid of fired. Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah. And so they're not afraid to make those moves.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
they had me playing safety, and then they replaced me with Byron.
Hey, let's go to the game of the week that I have written down here, guys. I had the Bengals at the Niners, and the Bengals went out to San Francisco and won that game 31-17. Kind of a shocker to me. And that's why I said I think Cincinnati's now starting to round into form. We're not hearing about Joe Burrow having any issues now. There's no – I don't know. San Francisco doesn't look like the juggernaut they did the first couple of weeks ever since they struggled with Cleveland. Like, they've really not looked very good. Were they exposed? What is it? I know Purdy's numbers are they've fallen way back down to earth.
I was about to say that. People were saying they figured him out. I mean, I don't know how that works, but
Deebo Samuel.
I was about to say
he is out.
He's been out, and ever since he's been out, they've been struggling. I didn't realize it, but I think he means more to that offense than what we even realize, because he takes the heat off of McCaffrey
and Ayuk.
Yeah.
Remember when he was healthy playing that first game, Ayuk fried the Steelers. And Ayuk fried, I forget who they played second game. He had another really good game. I have him in fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's how I get to keep track of those numbers.
Yeah.
You're right, Kevin.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Deebo. They need Deebo. it's clear. I mean, when he comes back, the offense will be back to normal.
You know who's not doing a whole lot for them either, other than one game, is Kittle.
Yeah. I think he has to stay in and block.
Yeah, he's just.
You know what's weird? In the NFL, I just can't figure out, and we talked about it previously, but like, how's a team like Miami score 70 one week and then they're 20-something the next? And like the 49ers were dominant. I mean, you watch them play, you're like, oh my God, that's a Super Bowl champion right there. And you watch them this week and they lose to the Bengals by 2 touchdowns. Like, how is that possible? I don't understand the ups and the downs. It's not like the Bengals are an amazing football team. And the Bengals struggled so much early.
Script.
It's a script.
It's a script.
It's a script.
God, man, I tell you, I keep looking for it and I wonder sometimes. It makes it hard
for that.
You can't if you really feel that way, you can't watch it. Like, it's hard,
It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
You take that Steelers game, okay? I know I keep going back to it, but they called that offside. They called a guard offside, and they drew the line down the middle of the field, and it was actually the end on Jacksonville's side that was over the ball. I mean, it was clear as day, and they called it on Pittsburgh. And then you had that pass interference on James Pierre, who never even touched the guy.
Not pass interference.
That's the one I feel like you'll see, like, in all the games where they want to decide one way or the other. They always get either pass interference or defensive holding.
Yeah,
they call it every time.
And then you had the hit on who was it? Landon Roberts.
Yeah,
he laid out. I mean, the guy's just releasing the ball and he lays him out, and they call roughing the passer. But then Pickett gets hurt by a guy who takes 2 extra steps to get to him and lays him out, and they throw nothing. Like, it doesn't. There's no consistency, and that's why. Maybe there isn't truly a script, but there's something very fishy about that, and that goes back to our story, or our show about betting. That's what that goes back to. I mean, it just looks bad. But is this Cincinnati on the uprise? Did they hit their skid? Because they always start out slow, and by the time teams start getting to them now, they better be ready to go because Cincinnati is on the uprise. They don't have anybody hurt, right? Mixon's fine.
Yeah, everybody's fine. I think
Chase is fine.
Yep.
How do you think it affects them? Like, when they say T. Higgins is up for trade, like if anyone wants to put a trade offer, T. Higgins is out there. Like, I would be worried about that. Like, if that was out in the news and stuff, you think they just say, no, that wasn't true? Like, because if you're T. Higgins, don't you kind of feel like, I don't know, it's got to make you feel like some kind of way.
I think he already knows too. I think he realizes Burrow's going to got paid.
Yeah.
Chase has got to get paid. There's no money for me.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it didn't matter.
You got to see. Nobody has 3 guys like that. You can just throw all that money out there. There's no way you can do it. And Mixon, he's making a whole lot of money. There's no way. So you just see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good
And then,
point.
so if I was him, to me, I got to go out here and make my money for that free agent market.
Yeah.
Make it.
Give me my touches.
Yep. And
Interesting.
then that's what I'm going to argue about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Interesting games this week. That was a pretty interesting week to me. Let's move into some really some highlights in football this week. Not game related per se, but trade day ended yesterday at 4:00. The Skins moved on from Chase Young and they moved on from Montez Sweat. Young for a number 2 to the Niners. So the Strong gets number 3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
3
number
Chase
3
Young.
to the Niners, and then Sweat went to Chicago for a 2.
Yep.
Okay.
So here's the word from DC. Sweat, they did not want to let go. They wanted to keep Sweat, but they couldn't turn down that second round offer from Chicago. That's like a mid-30s pick overall. That's right at the end of the first round. You gotta look at that. And I was thinking about it yesterday. Who's to say that he doesn't go and play there for the end of the season? He's a free agent at the end of the season. Who's to say Washington doesn't make him a really nice offer at the end of the season, bring him right back?
Yeah.
They got apparently they also have $90 million next year in cap space.
There you go.
So
there you go. And then as far as Chase Young, he's a cancer in the building. Supposedly, they were just ready to get rid of him. If you watch their games closely, he hustles less than any player I've watched on defense since what's his name that got paid from
the guy from Tennessee.
Yes, he's not as bad as Hainsworth, but there's times where he looks just like Hainsworth. Like they're playing with 10. Can't win with him. Can't do it. Not gonna do it.
Hometown guy. It's hard to bring back a hometown. It's hard to have a guy from your hometown playing and be successful, I think, because there's a lot of expectations from people locally. It takes it to another level. A lot of people want things out of you. You can't go in and focus on your career half the time because you're back in your childhood neighborhood doing shit that you did. Go ahead, Rasheed.
I think that depends on who you get around you too, because I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm too old to be in the NFL now, but say at his age, that would have made me whatever he was. That's till you take 20 years from my dad. Listen, if I'm in the NFL and I'm doing stupid shit, I'm gonna tell you my dad gonna show up at my house ready to fight. I'm gonna tell you that right. He gonna knock on the door and punch me right upside my head and go right back to his car and leave. It's all of who you get around you, man. I mean, his friends ain't telling him, hey, man, you stink like shit. Excuse my language, but you stinking out there, bro.
That's because they're giving him money. He's giving him money.
Oh, man, listen, man.
He's doing what
he is 24 years old. He's young. He's only 24.
He is a kid.
I hear you. But
he'll go out to San Francisco and become a beast. Watch.
100%. He will be an animal out there. Guaranteed. Yeah.
And that's the second guy from the DC area that played for DC that didn't pan out. Who's the first one?
Haskins. Haskins.
Quarterback.
Yeah, Haskins. Exactly.
But he's kind of from New Jersey, isn't he?
Yeah, he was from New Jersey. He moved
yes
here.
And no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. But hey, Dobbs, there was talk of Jameis Winston. It sounded like it was a done deal. That's why I hit up Rasheed and told him this. But Dobbs ended up getting moved over to Minnesota. What's the impact there now? Because he's not – they got to change their offense.
Who's they?
Minnesota.
Why?
Can't be
Dobbs can't drop back and throw the ball 50 times for 350 yards.
That ain't Dobbs.
Huh?
Dobbs can't do that.
No, that's not his style.
Rocket scientist. Literally.
He's a scientist, but he's not that kind of quarterback. Yeah, I know he is a rocket scientist. I get it. But, that's not him, though. Like, don't you think that makes a difference?
I thought he played pretty decent for the Cardinals.
Let me tell you this. If Pittsburgh would have dumped Trubisky and Rudolph and brought Dobbs in to be the backup, I'd have been happy. Because I think he would have helped develop Pickett better.
So you ain't going to let him start? You ain't starting him is what you're saying.
No, I'm not starting him. But if they'd have brought him in to help Pickett, I think Dobbs would have brought a hell of a lot more to the table. He understood what Ben did and saw, because he played behind Ben, he went and experienced some other teams. He was not a selfish guy. He knew his place. And I don't think Trubisky brings that mentality to the locker room. And I know Mason doesn't give two shits because he doesn't get the opportunity. I don't even know if him and Ben even talked. You know, I mean, I think that's part of that thing. But I don't know. Dobbs in Minnesota, that's a stopgap.
So you're saying they come up for fantasy?
No. I would think that at this point, they're going to have to decide who they want to bring in as a quarterback next year because Dobbs' contract runs out and Cousins' contract runs out. You know, so.
I'm with you, Dobbs. I said it here first.
Well, we'll see. They're 4-3. They'll win some games. He has a better cast around them up there.
No one agrees.
I don't think when JJ comes back, he's going to get his 2 touchdowns and 150 yards a game like he does under Cousins. So, yeah. Any other big trades you guys thought went down? And why is the trade day in the NFL so, I don't know, it's nothing like baseball or hockey where it's a big deal?
Maybe because guys don't want to part with people as much, you know, like it's so you're playing baseball, guy, you could just sub a guy and go play right field. All right, it's not like there's a lot of scheme to it. You got to know the scheme.
And you got a lot of farm leagues too. You got the farm league. I mean, there's no one to pull from in football. You got like Noob said, you don't really want to part with guys because now you got to wait till April to draft someone else. So, ain't no one you just pick up off the street.
I liked Kansas City getting McCole Hardman. I thought that was a good pickup. A guy they're going to plug and play. He'll go right into their offense. A guy that knows their system. He was with the Jets. All they did, they gave up a 7th, or they gave up a 6th, and they got a 7th and McCole Hardman. So that's actually a great deal. How many great players do you get in the 6th and 7th round? You know, I mean, it's a crapshoot. You hope to get somebody that can actually be on your roster, but you don't know. You know, depending on who your guys that are drafted are. But Kansas City, that's a good pickup for them. They need a little extra help in the receiver.
Absolutely, they don't have anybody that they can hang their hat on. Other than Kelsey at tight end, they don't have anybody to hang their hat on, and they haven't. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but when what's his name was coming up to be a free agent, what the hell's his name? The receiver from Miami now.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
I saw that.
So when he was coming up to be a free agent, they offered him 57, I think it was, something like that. They offered him at Kansas City 57 guaranteed. And Miami came in with 70 million guaranteed, and the Jets came in with 76 million guaranteed. And his agent said, go to Miami. So he went to Miami.
Because of the taxes.
Yep. Yep, Miami taxes,
and
Florida taxes. Yep. I thought that was kind of interesting to read about him. Hey,
I got another good trade. I got another good trade that you might not think is a good one right now. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to hit me with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a
You
sneaky.
like that one?
Yeah, that's sneaky good. That's sneaky. Yep.
Yeah. And that
Look
knocks
right
Cleveland down a little bit.
It does. But they got PJ Walker, so it don't matter.
We got Matt Canada.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Evened out.
Hey, the Raiders last night when we were sleeping, they cut loose McDaniel and GM Dave Ziegler. Thoughts on that?
Is it me or is that weird timing to do that on a Tuesday night?
It was there. Is it their day off?
Yeah, it is. Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday.
But it's still kind of weird to do it. I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. It's not like they've been terrible. I mean, they've kind of been up and down, up and down, up and down. But I don't know. I just thought the timing was a little weird. But that's the Raiders. Raiders do the Raiders. I mean, that's how they've always done it. You know, definitely emotional. They don't care.
There must have been some stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about for that to happen. I thought it was interesting. I was watching them when they play. It was a night game. Where they play Sunday night.
They played Monday night against Detroit.
Monday night. That's right. Monday night. So I thought it was interesting when there was a play where one of his guys, it looked like it was interference, right? The corner came off and he jumped in front of a crosser. It was a big third down play.
Yeah.
And the quarterback threw the ball and it went into the ground because the guy got bumped off kind of by the corner. It could have easily been pass interference. And they didn't do anything. Like, he didn't say anything at all about it. Like, McDaniel just was like, oh, well. Like, he didn't even complain. Like, most coaches would be like, what are we doing? Like, he just got knocked down. He just was like, he just accepted it. And I almost wonder if he knew going, like, before that point that was it for him.
One of the things I think that happened with McDaniel was he pushed so hard to get Carr out of there. Yeah. And they said, you better win if we get Carr out of here. Because we like Carr. We gave him a lot of money. We like what he brings, the intangibles and his leadership. And he's like, that's okay. We're bringing in my guy who I had up in New England. We'll bring in my guy. He knows my system. We'll be fine. Well, Garoppolo doesn't look like he knows anybody's system. He's injury prone. And that cost him his job. Part of it. The other part of it is, and Rasheen, I know we keep busting each other's balls about being developer, but McDaniels was never a developer. All he did was call plays to Brady, and who knows if he actually called plays to Brady. Maybe he called something in and Brady took it and did something different with it. Like, we don't know that part of it. I can't, from that particular spot right there, I don't know exactly who Belichick has put into a position to be a head coach that has succeeded, though. Only two guys I could think about are McDaniel and Matt Patricia. Bill O'Brien, he really was not that successful. He's back with New England now. They're getting opportunity, but they always end up back in New England. Right? Is McDaniel going to be back there next year? Probably. Yeah, probably.
Hey, Garoppolo's been benched, by the way.
Oh, okay. I want to see them. At this point, they should be playing Aiden O'Connell.
That's who it is.
To be honest with you, that's who they should be playing there.
Hey, real quick, on that note, is Vrabel from it? I mean, he played there. Is he from that coaching tree?
Yeah.
The
well,
Patriots?
Did he coach there, though?
Yes.
He did coach there?
Yeah, he coached there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, he was drafted by the Steelers, right?
He played for the Steelers for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yep, out of Ohio State. I remember that.
Didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was actually a good draft for them, too. Mm-hmm. Did he come out the same time as Woodley?
Was he drafted? 97. Let's see, 97. I don't know.
Okay. Let me stick with football a little bit here. We're going to jump over the college game, and then I'm going to finish up with a hockey thought and a baseball thought. But Dabo Swinney's under fire, man. Dabo Swinney, who won some national championships, he's put more than a handful of guys at the next level, making a paycheck every week to play football. Is that fair to Dabo Swinney?
Go ahead, Noobs.
I think you give him a little longer rope than half of the season. I mean, he's deserved that. He's won a bunch of ACC championships, played for national championships. Did he win the national championship? So yeah. So you got to give him a longer rope than that. I've been successful. Give him another year. If he's bad next season, okay, then let's move on and try to find someone else.
I make no beefs about it. I'm not a James Franklin fan. And my friends get mad at me because I don't support Penn State. I don't support James Franklin. That's who I don't support. I'm not a fan. I think he could try and sell you snake oil, some swampland. And I don't like the guy personally. And I don't know him. He doesn't have to walk in my house and drink beer at me. I don't like his presentation of who he is. So we'll leave it at that. But that being said,
national titles, by the way.
What's that?
Dabo has 2 national titles.
Yeah,
two.
Right.
So
that being said, how come a guy like James Franklin doesn't come under fire when he can't even beat Ohio State and Michigan, but yet Dabo, who's won 2 national titles, and he's kind of in an influx here, getting guys through. All right, he had a bad quarterback situation there with the ukulele, and now he's got Klubner in there, right?
I think he does need better quarterbacking, but I think with that between him and Franklin, the thing is, and I think they're thinking, hey, you're in the ACC, it's a lot easier to win than the Big Ten. Franklin's never going to really be able to. I mean, he probably will beat Ohio State, but it's not. It's going to be far in between that happens.
His recruiting classes are off the chain.
Yeah, he's been under fire.
Supposedly.
Franklin has been under fire up at Penn State. Oh, he has been. Now
He has been.
Yeah, he somehow, as you would say, he slips from under it. Maybe, I don't know, but they are on him for not beating Ohio State, for not beating Michigan. So they are on him. But how far does that take you? You know, when my 2 losses every year are those 2. You know, I don't know how far you can take that. You know, that's your only 2 losses every year. Eventually, you know, how do you? Is that good?
What are they missing? What are they missing? They can't get those wins. Why is Ohio State consistently better?
I think they got better players. Let's be real.
That means whoever's bringing in their recruits is doing a better job of picking.
Yeah, I mean, you
guys are over Hill.
Ohio State, Penn State. Which one are you going to go to?
That too.
I mean, let's be real. Michigan, Penn State. Which one you going to go to? I mean, that to me ain't easy. That's an easy choice.
Unless you live in Pennsylvania, like if you're close to Penn State.
Yeah, but if you're close,
right? But the recruiting in Pennsylvania ain't what it used to be. Like when Mark was in school. Like it's way different than now. So you can take everybody from Pennsylvania. That ain't gonna put a great team on the field.
I think one of the things that hurts him is the fact that he's so dead against playing Pitt and West Virginia every year. I think he could pull some really good players from both of those schools if he played them every year. I think that's one of the problems. Also, I think there's people that are backing Penn State that want him to play those games.
Yeah, because he ain't going to play them, because now if you lose to them, now your job's really in jeopardy.
Which, that.
I mean, let's be real. I don't want to play them, because if I lose to them, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And last year they could have lost to Pitt. Pitt was legit last year.
Yeah.
When was the last time Penn State played Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Didn't they play this year?
No. No. And I'm not saying Notre Dame is, you judge your schedule on that. But what I am saying,
when
do
they play Maryland?
To me, I'm just not a big fan.
When do they play Maryland?
This week.
They play Maryland this week down here, I think. Yeah.
Put your money on Maryland.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm just telling you. I know they came off a bad loss. That was a bad loss at Northwestern. Put your money on Maryland.
Maryland's done what Maryland does, though. They come out of the gates 5-0, 6-0, something like that, and then they just kind of.
Now Maryland is somebody that if they could get their own recruits, they would have some solid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they keep going to Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah,
they keep leaving. Yeah, you got to keep
look at some of those kids from Quince Orchard, DeMatha, even Good Counsel.
Got to keep them here. Figure out how.
I don't know.
Where's the running back from Gaithersburg going? Where's he going?
Wisconsin.
Again, he can't go to Maryland. Like what's going on there? You got to keep that kid.
I'll look him up. Don't worry.
Who do they? I saw on something they was talking about the best back in the state of Maryland. I saw it somewhere. Who was it this year?
It should be him.
Was it? Was it him? Was it him?
Gaithersburg. It's got to be.
Was it okay?
His stats are crazy.
Okay, because maybe it was him.
Over 2,000 yards.
Yeah, the kid from Churchill, and then
there was legit. He's going to Villanova.
Okay, another one's not going in, staying in state, and then the kid from QU.
Orchard.
Where's he going?
His brother went to Northwest.
So where's the kid going? Where's it? Do you know where he's going?
He's got another year.
Oh shit!
Is that Johnny's brother?
Was.
No.
All right.
Howard.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. The dude from Gaithersburg, I don't know how you're going to Wisconsin, but okay. Have fun, because it's not going to be fun up there.
It's cold. It's real
But if
cold.
they're playing big back football like they play up there.
Yeah, he's a big back, and his legs are like tree trunks.
Yeah. I watched Wisconsin last week.
Yeah.
Those 2 backs that they trot out, Jesus God, they're gigantic.
Yeah.
There was one shot on TV the quarterback was right in front of him as they're lining up, and the angle of the shot, the back was like at least like 6 inches tall, like maybe 4 inches taller than the quarterback. I'm like, God dang, that dude is huge. That goes back to Ron Dane and those guys, though. Those guys were always huge there. Hey, Heisman Trophy is heating up. Read today where Jalen Daniels, the quarterback from LSU, if he can pull off this win against Alabama this week, he is going to catapult himself into a front runner for that trophy. We know Caleb Williams is kind of taking himself out of it. Is that true, though? Because LSU is a 6-2 team.
I think it's a crapshoot this year.
I do too.
Yeah, it is.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I could even see the wide receiver winning it for Ohio State. I could even see that happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Give it back to the guy who Williams.
Yeah. I mean, there's no quarterback to me that kind of just like stands out. It really is.
Okay, so is this a good draft? Because this usually tells the tale.
It's supposed to be a really deep draft. They say it's a really, really deep draft is what they said.
Okay. All right. And then that makes sense to me, because if you don't have one clear-cut guy who's sitting at the top as a Heisman guy, that usually means a lot. I think Williams is we've had this conversation. He's not a generational talent. He might be a really good pro, but I think, a lot of people were expecting him to be a Peyton Manning, guy like that. And I don't know. I don't see that, but that's me.
No. So as far as drafts go, remember, this is the group, this college group is the second to last to be affected by the COVID, having that extra year of COVID.
So they're old as hell.
Yeah, they're older. They've had time to develop, or they're just extremely talented. But you combine those two together, you're going to get more kids that are better or more well prepared, ready to come and play.
Well, yeah, because the Knicks kid, I think they say he's going to be like 25.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
So, yep. Do you want to take him? Pickett's 25.
I take anybody. They can play ball. Let's go. It don't matter. It don't matter.
If they bring their coordinator, they got to bring their coordinator with them.
Yeah, got to do something. Yeah, there you go. That should be part of the package. Yeah.
I like the quarterback.
From Houston?
Duke.
Oh, from Duke.
Oh,
yeah.
Duke, yeah. He's only a freshman.
Yeah, I was going to say that kid's not coming out.
Yeah, he's a freshman.
Now he might be a redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman. He might be a redshirt freshman.
Oh wow.
Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May. I'm on board. I think Penix is a little small. There's a couple of them out there. There is. But again, a couple of years ago when the draft was going down and Pickett and Malik Willis and all those guys, Noob said, hey, next year's the quarterback class with Stroud and Bryce Young and those guys. And Stroud's doing good, but how about the rest of them?
Well, we're gonna see one of them tomorrow night.
Yeah. He was slinging it last week. He was slinging it.
Slinging.
Two things. Riley Leonard's a junior, so he's coming out this year.
Oh.
And the coach from Wisconsin, Bobby Ingram, he went to Penn State. So
that's
the kid who offered. He offered the kid from Gaithersburg. He's the coordinator of Wisconsin. So
okay.
Hey, I know we forgot to mention. Speaking of interim head coaches, you guys know who Las Vegas interim head coach is?
Antonio Pierce.
Pierce. We forgot to mention that former Washington linebacker and Giants.
Oh, wow.
He's only been coaching for like 2 years.
Oh wow.
Well, he's going to bring that hardcore mentality. He played when those teams were,
Well, he already
physical.
Walk the line.
Bench. He already kicked him to the bench.
he was one of my favorite players for the Skins. I really, really liked him a lot. I was sad to see him go to the Giants. I thought he was one of their best guys. So I'm happy for him, though. That's awesome. He got that job.
Hey, hopefully you guys good with the way the first ranking came out? OSU, Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State. You think Ohio State should be at the top? Because I feel like some of those games they've won, they just got lucky.
Yes. Listen, they're the Ravens of college. They're doing the just getting by. I mean, I went with Georgia. Georgia must be looking bad. I haven't seen them, but are they looking bad?
They're not as obviously as explosive as they have been. I mean, they're still winning games, their tight end, the one kid that'll probably go in the first round, he's hurt. But I tell you what, this second tight end they had, I saw him make a catch this weekend. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, one-handed catch, man, reaching out. I said, he just as good. So their defense is not as dominant, but I mean, I think they should remain number one until somebody beats them. I mean, that's just out of respect, in my opinion there. Number two should be Michigan. Why aren't they number two? Because they spying? Come on, get out of here. Stop.
Does it matter?
They say that's not going to be even an issue. They're going to address it in the offseason.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so that's not. I tell you what, because they're blowing folks out. And you put who they put on the field, they're just blowing them out.
Yep.
To me, that is a scary team.
Yep, I agree. I could see them winning it all.
Florida State's shaky.
I'd like to see a Michigan Georgia national championship.
FSU's explosive. I like Florida State. They're explosive, and they've gotten a lot better defensively. Like they've improved their talent every year.
Yep.
That kid they have at D end is the real deal.
Yeah,
Verse.
Yep.
Yeah, he's legit. I've watched Florida State. I've watched Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see them play because I think Florida State could take Ohio State down.
Yeah. Florida State, the only thing worry about me sometimes, the Florida boys make me a little nervous sometimes. That's all. They make me a little nervous. That's all. They
I like their quarterback. I like their quarterback too.
Make me a little nervous.
I'm going to see Pitt and Florida State this weekend, and I've already forewarned Vincent. We have to come home Saturday because he has a hockey game Sunday morning. And
when's the game? When's the game?
The game's at 3:30. The game's at 3:30 in Pittsburgh. We're going Steelers Thursday night against the Titans, and then Pitt Saturday. Spend Friday with my mom.
Oh, okay.
Say a prayer for me, guys. But I already forewarned Vincent. I said, if this is a landslide at halftime, we're gone.
Oh, we out. Yeah. Heck yeah.
I mean, it just
keep the car running in the parking lot.
Wave. Tell DeAndre to look up in the stands. Wave to him on the way out.
We're going early to say hi to him. I wanted to go to lunch with him or dinner, and he said we go to the hotel early on the day before, and we're locked in. We can't do anything. And I said, all right, well, next time you come back, we'll go out. But I hope he has a game because this could be big for him.
Mm-hmm.
This could be big for DeAndre. Even AJ, I hope he has some kind of game. This could be huge for him too, really. So, hey, last thing I want to talk about. I don't know if Kevin saw this. I know Rasheen saw this. I think New put it out in our group chat, but guy by the name of Adam Johnson playing hockey over in London, in Great Britain, and guy skating to back check. And as this guy's back checking, for some reason, he decides to lift his leg up and slash the guy right here. And the guy died. Adam Johnson died. Have you guys, I don't know how much hockey you've watched, but have you ever seen anything quite so bizarre? Is that guy doing that? I've been watching hockey since I was 6 or 7 years old. I've never, ever seen anything so bizarre in my life.
Not bizarre, but bad was when Chara hit what's his name into the board.
Oh, Pacioretty, yeah.
He hit the
yeah.
But that one I can't really get a good. So you guys don't think he tripped over the guy? Hell,
but no, because he still had his balance. It's so weird to put your leg up that high. Why would you? If anything, to keep your balance, stick your leg out further and low to keep your balance. Why it looks so intentional because he looked at him prior to doing it. You could see his head turned to the left, see him coming, and then his leg went high into the air. And the big selling point for me, because I was like, that looks 100% intentional. But then the big selling point for me was to have so many hockey folks come out and say that should never happen. That didn't look right. They didn't want to come out and say he murdered him on purpose, but it didn't look right. It looked intentional, is what several hockey people have said.
Yeah, I think Shawn Avery said it best. Shawn Avery, former tough guy from the Rangers and a bunch of other teams, but best known for playing for the Rangers. He said, I'm pretty sure he didn't wake up in the morning saying, I'm going to go out and murder somebody on the ice that day. But, that was just a dirty play, lifting his skate up. I mean, why would you even think of kicking a guy with knowing what you have on your feet? Like it was just, I don't know. If you haven't seen it, Kevin, you got to check it out. Like it just, the perspective of it now, every ECHL and every AHL team is mandated to have a throat guard now. And the NHL, based on their collective bargaining agreement, cannot mandate that, but teams are highly recommending that you have a throat guard now. And this is, to be honest with you, this is really only the second time I've seen anything quite so crazy. In 1989, a goalie by the name of Clint Malarchuk was playing for Buffalo. A guy came down the ice, guy hooked him from behind, skates went up in the air. Malarchuk was off to the side to keep the guy from shooting it, couldn't move his body fast enough, and it came by and cut Malarchuk. He was lucky. He was bleeding out. The guy who was their trainer on the bench was in the military, I want to say Vietnam or something. He came out. He knew exactly what to do, put his hand on his neck. They got him right off the ice into the ambulance, and Malarchuk ended up living. I don't think he played again, but it wasn't quite as fortunate for Adam Johnson. So, hey, guys, great show, man. Rasheen, Mike, K-Watt, go ahead and share your social media, and then I'll close this out. Go ahead, Rasheen.
Oh, I'm Rasheen Hill. Easy to find. I'm like Coach Sanders, baby. I ain't hard to find. Rasheen Hill, Facebook.
Go ahead, Noobs.
You can see mine's right there, Coach Noob. I'm on X, as we call it now, and IG.
There you go.
At Coach K-Watt on X.
Excellent. Hey, check out our website, podpage.com, Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei. You can find us on every social media place you go, and on YouTube. We're either OSP with MM or Original Sports Podcast. Feel free to let us know if you have any comments, questions, even subject matter to have for a show by emailing us at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. Shout out to Shawn Antkowiak for doing our voice intro. Our guy, Charlie Hodgson, who does our intro and outro music. My wife, who takes care of that webmaster stuff for the web page. Join us every week on the Original Sports Podcast and experience the we'll see you again next week, everybody.